I want to speak about death. And there are all kinds of deaths. There's death of every moment. There's death every night when you drop off into sleep. There's death when a relationship ends. There's death when a child leaves home. But the death I want to speak about is physical death, the end of the physical life form. That death that is, in our culture at least, usually most avoided, most denied, most covered. And as a result of that avoidance and denial and covering, there is such a huge loss of the gift and the treasure that is in death. So that those words are foreign to most of us. How can there be a gift in death? How can there be a treasure in death? We are so terrified of it and so frightened of being nothing. How can there be anything there? Many of you know that Bhavo, who has been a Bay Area host of Satsang for a number of years, died a few days ago. It was such a treasure, such a gift, being with him. And the weeks before he died, I luckily got to speak with him the night before he died, the next morning, and then sitting with his body after he was dead, so that the abstraction of the talk of death was not an abstraction. It was present. It was not a theory about death. It was the reality of being in the room with death. Death approaching, clearly approaching. And then death here, taking the life form. And the clear treasure of what remains. Of what is lost and what is given in death, and the enormous benefit of those of us who are willing to be with him in his suffering, physical suffering, and to be with him in his death. And the preciousness of his death, because he knew it was coming. He was not in denial about his death. It doesn't mean he wasn't fighting his disease. He did fight, until he heard, we lost the fight. The fight's over. And the next morning he was dead. He let go. So it's not a question of not fighting the disease. It's a question of knowing you're fighting the disease, but death will come when it comes. And having the capacity, as he had, to meet that. And in meeting that, to prove that to all of us who are willing to witness that meeting. So this is absolutely relevant to everyone in this room. I know that I've seen a couple of bodies that weren't fixed up with formaldehyde, or I don't know what they inject. Maybe it's not formaldehyde. Whatever they put in bodies to make them look so good after they die. All pink and rosy. That's one form of death, and you view in the casket, and then you close the casket, and then you throw some dirt on the casket. But this other form of death, where the body goes and nothing is done to the body, it is deathly pale. It is so clear that it is not animated. There's no rouge on the cheeks, no lipstick to make it look like we would like to remember Bhavo. Just the stark, naked fact of death of the form. And in the willingness to be present in that, the absolute, undeniable beauty and presence of what is eternally alive, what does not need plumping up and fixing and rouging for its life. So bhavo is gone. What we knew of the form of bhavo is gone. It's now cremated and is in ashes. It's gone. We all will have memories of bhavo, memories of his sweet personality, of his irritations, the whole realm. But the presence that animated the form is the exact same presence that animates your form, that animates all of form. And to wake up to yourself as that presence is then the willingness to meet death in all form, including what you call your own form. Then it is a joyous meeting. It is a time of loss because we lose the precious form, either our own bodies that are very precious to us, or someone we love, very precious to us. So there's loss, but the joy of the recognition that that animation is the presence of truth, the presence of God, and that once again, through the gift of the death form, is proved to be eternal, to be here. I've spent a lot of evenings and days and mornings speaking to people about death and the opportunity that the spiritual path is really a path of death. It's really a path of loss. Many people come to the spiritual world looking for attainment, but the attainment that is achieved, the true spiritual attainment that is achieved through the loss of all, the loss of everything. Luckily for Bhavo, he did not have to wait until disease was taking his body to face that loss. Through some grace or some luck, he was able to investigate that loss earlier, years before the disease finally took the body, so that he could die free, so that he could die at peace, losing something very precious, but gaining more in that loss. I want to invite each of you this evening, now, this moment, to die. The body will die sometime. It's a guarantee of birth. This night, the opportunity to die before the body dies, to recognize the attachment, the love of the body, and to let it die. And in that death, to tell the truth about who you are. This is Ramana's gift. This is exactly what occurred for Ramana as a young teenager. Died before his body died. Lay down and faced death. Lost everything in that moment. Parents, history, future, past, attainment, losses, lost both attainment and losses. Everything. And in the willingness to truly lose both attainment and loss, the recognition of who one is revealed, was revealed for him, is revealed for you.